Bruchim haboim. Welcome everyone. We're about to begin Be'ezras Hashem together on Daf Hey Amud Beis, starting with Daf Hey Amud Aleph, 2 lines from the bottom. The Gemara until now has been discussing primarily the correction of a mavui using a kara, a crossbeam. Now the Gemara speaks about the lechi as a correction for carrying within the mavui. Says the Gemara, Gufa, bringing back the previous statement that we had, Omar Rami Bar Chama Omar Rav Huna, Lechi haboilet midfonoi shel mavui, Pochois me'arba amos nidon mishum lechi ve'ein tzorich lechi acher lahatiroi. Here, the first statement that he makes is that if you have a lechi that is boilet, that is protruding in the entranceway, and it's up to 4 amos, then you do not need another lechi to permit one to carry within the mavui. On the top of Hey Amud Beis, Daled Amos nidon mishum mavui v'tzorich lechi acher lahatiroi. However, if that lechi, if that post extends all the way Daled Amos of the width of the entranceway of the mavui, then you would need an additional lechi to permit one to carry in the mavui. Why the Daled Amos? Because once it's Daled Amos, we said then it's a hechsher of a mavui. That means to say that it's already the length of a wall of a mavui. So therefore, you need a lechi to then matir. That lechi is no longer a lechi, it's rather a mavui. Says the Gemara, Oisoi lechi heichen ma'amidoi. That lechi that we do need to put when you already have a lechi that is Daled Amos, that was a hechsher mavui, what is the place that we will put that second lechi to permit carrying in the mavui? Says the Gemara, if you're going to put it where that lechi itself is, then it's just going to be an extension of that lechi. Then oisvihu de komoisifale. You're going to be adding onto that lechi, whereby be'etzem it's really just a wall of the mavui. So that can't be a permitted way of making the lechi. Omra papa demuki le liidach gisa. We will establish on the other side, the other end of the entranceway. Rav Huna bereid Rav Yehoshua Omar afilu tema demuki la bahadei. Even if you want to say indeed we will place it where that lechi is, but the mitafe bay or the mvatzar bay, you'll either make it so that it is higher or lower, or you'll make it thicker or thinner. So therefore it will be nicker, it will be recognizable as being a lechi that is addition to the 4 amos lechi that was already there. Rav Huna bereid Rav Yoshua. Now Rav Huna, the son of Rav Yoshua, is a student of Rav Huna. Rav Huna is the one who authored the statement we began with, that said if you have a lechi protruding that is less than Daled Amos, then you don't need another lechi. But if it's Daled Amos, then you would, yes, need another lechi. That was Rav Huna's statement. Now, it's Rav Huna Berei, Rav Yoshua, a student of Rav Huna, that makes the following comment. Lo ya'amaron ele b'mavui shmoine. This is all stated that we're talking about until now when that mavui is 8 amos wide. That's the entrance way of the mavui. Aval b'mavui shiva, niter ba'oime meruba ala parutz. But if the mavui had an entranceway that is less than 8 amos, for example 7 amos, then we can say the principle that the oimed is meruba ala parutz. We have a principle when it comes to chatzeiros, we'll soon see, that if you have walls that are standing, that are more than the openings between the walls, then we don even the openings as part of the walls. So too over here. If you have only a 7 amos wide opening, and 4 amos is the lechi, so then you have then the standing more than the opening. Says the Gemara to explain. The kal v'chomer, we can bring a kal v'chomer of this principle of meruba, of oimed meruba ala parutz from chotzer. Uma chotzer she'ena niteres belechi v'kara. A chotzer, we're talking about a chotzer that is a square chotzer. You cannot, let's say you have 3 walls of the chatzar and 1 wall is open. You cannot put a lechi or a kara on the 4th wall and make that into a proper closing of a chatzar. Whereas niteres ba'oimim ruba laport, but the concept of oimed meruba aparitz when it comes to the chatzer's walls, that we would say if you have more standing walls than openings, then it is a valid fourth wall, and all the walls will be valid for this chatzir. So mavui shenitar balechi v'kara eino din shenitar ba'oimed meruba laparutz. Then a mavui which is valid through the lechi and the kara, then certainly oimed ala parutz should also be valid based on this kal v'chomer. Ask the Gemara pirchan the kal v'chomer. Uma lechatzer shekein pirtzosa be'eser. When it comes to a chatzer, the pirtza is up to even eser. The opening could be eser amos. Whereas the mavui's opening has a maximum of arba amos. So therefore we have then shown that the chatzar has a chumrah, or a kula rather, than a mavui. We wanted to say before that the mavui is more chamor than the chatzar, because the mavui has both lechi and kara, which the chatzar doesn't. But now we're showing that the chatzar has a chumrah that the mavui doesn't, that the chatzar can have the ability to then have a pirtza up to eser amos, whereas the mavui only dalid. So now we don't have a kal v'chomer anymore. Gemara says no. Kesov Rav Huna bereid Rav Yoshua. Rav Huna, the son of Rav Yoshua, he says mavui nami pirtzosa be'eser. He holds that the mavui has also the ability of an eser amos pirtza, just like the chatzar, and therefore we have no more pircha on the kal v'chomer. The kal v'chomer stands, and therefore going back to the kal v'chomer that he said before, if by chatzar we say oimed ala parutz, but we don't say you can use a lechi or kara, then a mavui that can use lechi and kara kal v'chomer, you can go ahead and use the amud ala parutz, oimed ala parutz. So Gemara says, Laman ka'amrinan, to whom are we saying this statement? In other words, the statement that we are talking about originally, that if the lechi is more than daled amos in the entranceway, then you need a lechi. Le Rav Huna, that was Rav Huna's statement. And Rav Huna is of the opinion that the mavui is a pirtza only up until daled amos. You can't have more than daled amos. Answers the Gemara, Rav Huna bereid Rav Yoshua, time b'dinav sheikomer. The student of Rav Huna, which is Rav Huna, the son of Rav Yoshua, he's going with his own reasoning. In other words, he's not going with Rav Huna, he's going on his own rationale, saying that if the entranceway was less than 8 amos, it's 7 amos, then the arba amot lechi that is boilate, we'll say oimed is meruba ala poritz. Rav Ashi Omar. Rav Ashi says the following: Afilu teima b'mavui shmoine nami lo tzorich lech. Let's say you can say the entranceway to the mavui is a full 8 amos. Still, you would not need another lechi if you have what we said before, a lechi that's protruding to be daled amos, because monavshach, whichever way you want. I oimed nafish. If the oimed, that means the protrusion of this lechi, which is considered to be oimed here, that's more than the open space that is the rest of the entranceway, then niter ba'oimim merubal haporitz. Then we can say it's mutter to carry in this mavui because of oimed merubal haporitz, as the kal v'chomer before stated. Vi porutz nafish need nafish, and if you want to say that the open area is bigger than the closed area, that means that there's more space of the entranceway than the lechi, because the lechi is slightly smaller than the rest of the entranceway. Then nido mishum lechi, then you should say that the lechi, which is slightly less than arba amos, is then going to be a valid lechi. My amos, what do you want to say? That they're exactly the same? The shavu travayu ki adoti, that there's exactly between the 8 amos 4 and 4. Then it's a suffix, havalei suffix divreim, the suffix divreim lehokil. Then it would be a suffix midirabanan, and therefore misafik would say that midlakula, and therefore mimanavshach you can go ahead and carry it in this mavui. Either we say omid ala porutz, or we say we have a lechi, or we say safik midirabanan is lakula.